Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Royalty Cut here, and in today's tutorial I'll be taking you through the process of how to cut and sew this beautiful crop top you see over here with fringes. If this video is a video you're interested in, please watch to the end, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. So basically for this tutorial, this is the material that I'll be working with, and I have 1.5 yards of African print. So if you're on a bigger size, I think 1.5 to 2 yards should be able to do for this top, since it is a crop top. So for me, I have 1.5 yard here in total, and this is what I'll be making use of. So let's start with the drafting. So basically at this point, I went ahead to fold my fabric into four, because we'll be cutting our front piece and our back piece together. So I have 4 pieces folded here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to start our measurement from this two folded edge, and not from this edge that has an opening. So if you want to know what you will fold with, if you're working with more than 1.5 yards, just fold with your round bust measurement divided by 4. Then you add your sleeve length to it, or you can just go ahead and do your shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mine is 16 inches, divided by 2 is 8 inches. Then you can go ahead and add your sleeve length to the 8 inches. That will give you an exact number to fold with if you're trying to economize your material. So for me, I just went ahead to fold it into 4 equal parts, just like you can see here. So the first thing we are going to be making use of is this shoulder part here. It will be serving as our shoulder line. So at this part, I'm going to go ahead and divide my shoulder to my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches. Divided by 2 is 8 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8 inches at this point. So after that, the next thing we are going to be working on is my sleeve length. So for the sleeve length, I think I'll be working with the sleeve length of 10 inches. So from this point that I marked 8 inches, which is my shoulder to shoulder measurement, I'm going to go ahead and input 10 inches plus 1 inch for the folding of this sleeve, making it 12 inches in total. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. So for our neck width, I'm going to be working with the neck width of 3 inches. Remember, we are cutting our back piece and our front piece. So the neck depth for the back piece will be 2 inches, just like you see me do over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a curve from the width to the depth for us to get our neck curve. So this is the neck curve for the back piece. So let's go ahead and work on the neck curve for the front piece. So as you can see, this is a V-neck. So I'm going to be coming down from that shoulder point by 6 inches. Now this 6 inches is optional. You can choose to do more or less depending on how down you want yours to be. But I think 16 to 7 inches is a perfect number. So I came down at this point by 6 inches. So what I'm just going to go ahead and do is to connect this neck width we have here all the way down to that 6 inches line that I marked, and this will be serving as our front neckline. So after that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to go over to this point that I marked our sleeve length. I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch at that point for our shoulder slope, and I'm going to be connecting that 1 inch all the way down to our neck width in a vertical way, just like you see me do over here. I don't know if my chalk is visible because this is a multicolored fabric. So after that, I just went ahead to use another check because I noticed that it wasn't visible enough. So I just had to connect from our neck width down to that 1 inch point. So from this 1 inch point we have here, we're going to be determining our round sleeve. So remember that this is a full BuBu crop top. So you want your sleeve to be as free as possible. So for mine, I'll be coming down at this point by 10 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 10 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and connect our sleeve length all the way down to the 10 inches, just like you see me do over here. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and work on right now is to get our round body measurement. So for my bust length, I'm going to go ahead and mark my bust length at this point, and my bust length is 10 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 10 inches. I'll also go ahead and get the full length of this top. Now it's a crop top. You don't want it to be that long. So for me, I think I'll be doing 3 inches above my waistline, because we'll still be using about 1 inch to join into the fringes. So I'm going to be doing 3 inches above my waistline, but you can also go ahead and do exactly on your waistline if you want your tummy to be revealing. So I marked 19 inches at this point for our full length. So at the bust point line, I'm going to go ahead and divide my round bust measurement into 4. And I'm working with a round bust of 36 inches. 36 inches divided by 4 is 9 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and input 9 inches at this point, and I'm going to be adding extra 3 inch for ease. Now this 3 inch will be serving for stitching and for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the same thing at our waistline. So I'm going to measure what I have here in total. I have 12.5. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the same 12.5 at our waistline, and I'm going to be connecting the lines together just like you see me do over here. So after that, I'm going to come over to our sleeve area. I'm going to be connecting from this round sleeve measurement we marked here back into this our measurement line. So you want to do that in a curvy way so that you wouldn't get a sharp edge at your sleeve part. I don't know if you can see. So that is that for it. Now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do right now is to cut this out. So before cutting it out, I want to add extra 1 inch at the length of this my top because I felt it was going to be too short. So I'm going to go ahead and add extra 1 inch to it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the sides first and the shoulder. And after that, I'll cut this first neck width we have here. I don't know if you can see. We're going to go ahead and cut this first 2 inch neck width that we have here. Then I'll show us what to do next. At this point, basically, I was done cutting it out, just as you can see here. So I also went ahead to cut out the first neck cuff that we have. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and separate the inner one because we have two pieces here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the inner one for us to be able to work with the front piece that we have so that we can cut out the neckline. So I removed the back piece, just as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this fabric again into two, just like we had it earlier. Now I'm going to fold it for us to cut the second neck pattern that we have. So this is it. So after folding it, I'm now going to go ahead and cut the neck width for the second pattern. That's this V shape that we have here. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. So this will be serving as our front piece, while the other one will be serving as our back piece. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to face this neck area for the front and for the back for you to be looking smooth. Now you can also go ahead and use a bias for this. So for me, I think I'll just go ahead and do a facing for it. Then after that, I'll go ahead and join the two shoulders of the front piece and the back piece with 1/2 inch. Basically, at this point, I was done turning over the neck area with a bias, just as you can see. I also went ahead to use 1/2 inch to join the shoulder part of this dress. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to join the sides of this top that we are making with 1 inch. I'm going to be joining the sides with 1 inch. And after that, I'll go ahead and fold the sleeve area of this top that we are making. And I'll also go ahead and do the same thing for this other one. So basically at this point, I was done joining the shoulders just like I showed us earlier. I joined the shoulders and I also joined the sides with about 1 inch, and this is what we have. So let's just go ahead and work on the fringy aspect of this dress. Now this is the full length of my dress. This is the down part. I don't know if you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and determine how many fringes bands that we are going to be cutting. So let's go ahead and measure from this border to the border to know what we have here. That's the length that we have here. So I have 23 inches here in total, and I want my fringes to be giving about 1 inch space from the other. So what I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to mark a line here at this point here. This will be where our first fringes will be. So let's just say our first fringes will start from this point. So from this point that I have my shaped angle, I'm going to be marking 3 inch first. Now why I marked 3 inch first is because when I attach one fringe here, I'll be left with 1 inch here. Then I'll attach the second fringe at this 3 inch that I marked here. I don't know if you understand. The first fringe will be from this point, then I'll leave the space of 1 inch, attach the second fringe at this 3 inch. So after marking 3 inch, I'll now go ahead and mark 2 inch away from the other, just like you see me do over here. Marking 2 inch at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for the back side. So since the front piece and the back piece is equal, let me just count how many lines I have here. Now remember, we have one here already before the 3, so this will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, then 12 at this end. So I'll be cutting 24 inch of fringe in total. That is 12 for the front and 12 for the back piece. So let's just go ahead and cut out the fringe part of it. Basically, I was done cutting out the bands. So I have about 24 pieces of band here, and the length that I did for this band over here is 16 inches. So if you want your own fringes to be more longer, just go ahead and do more inches to yours. So for the length I did 16 inches, and for the width here I have 2 inches in total, but at the end of closing it up I'll be left with 1 inch because I want mine to be 1 inch by width. But if you want yours to be bigger, you can just choose to do more than it, so it's optional. So I have this band that you see over here. Just as you can see, the length, just like I said, is 16, and the width not unfold is 2 inch. So for this band, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it into two like this in a wrong way. I don't know if you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up one end, either this end or this end. Just pick up one, close it up with 1/2 inch, sew the two sides with 1/2 inch all the way to this tip, and I'll go ahead and use the opening that I have at this other point to flip it over to the right side. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for all the 24 bands, and I'll show you how to attach it. So basically at this point, I was done turning over the band, just like I told you earlier. So this is what we have here. We have this side that has an opening, and we have this side that has a closed part, and it is at the right side. So after sewing it, I had about 1 inch width of band unfold. So after that, the next thing we are going to go ahead and do right now is to bring our main fabric. So this is the right side, and remember we already marked 2 inches away from it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is to bring the band that we have. This open edge that you see over here is where that we are going to be facing outward of our top. So I'm going to go ahead and take this band, this open edge, and place it directly at the point that I marked my check, just as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and pin it down this way. Now I'm pinning it only to the front piece, this upper part. Don't pin it together with the back piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. So after pinning it, I'm going to go ahead and bring another band that we have, or another fringe. I'm going to go ahead to and place it at the 2-inch line mark that we have. I don't know if you can see. So I'm going to place it this way. I'll also go ahead and take another band, the opening facing outwards, place it directly at this point, and I'm going to pin it down. So this is what I am basically going to go ahead and do for all these lines that I have here, and also for the back piece, just like I showed you earlier. And afterwards, I'll go ahead to my sewing machine and use 1 inch. Now I'm going to be using 1 inch, not 1/2 inch. I'll use 1 inch to join it directly on the fabric. Now you're going to be measuring 1 inch from this point inward, mark the line. So I'll be using 1 inch to join it all the way around of our dress. So basically at this point, I was done attaching the fringes bands to it. So this is what we have at the right side. So turning it over to the wrong side, remember I told you earlier to join the fringes with 1 inch because we are going to be folding it. So this is what the side is looking like. That's the full length part of it. So what we are going to go ahead and do right now is to fold this. Now for the folding of this dress, just like the normal way we fold while folding our down part, I'm going to be folding this into two. I'm going to be picking up this like this, just like you see me do over here. So I'm going to be taking in 1/4 inch this way. Then I'll just go ahead and fold it again into two. I don't know if you understand. So I'm going to be folding it just like I explained. I'll be folding it into two, so that at the end we'll be having something like this. So after folding it this way, I'm just going to top stitch on it. So while folding it, you fold together with the ruffles or the fringes that you have. So I'm just going to be folding it into two, just like the normal way you fold. But make sure that the tip of this our band is inward with the same material. And I'm going to go ahead and top stitch on it all the way around the top that we are making. So basically at this point, I was done folding in the pieces just like I told you earlier. And this is what the wrong side is looking like. I don't know if it is visible to the camera. It is looking all smooth. So basically this is the end of this tutorial. Just as you can see, our top with the fringes is ready. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. See you in our next video. Bye.